Have you been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes? Are you worried about the long-term effects of taking medication on your body? Then this is the video for you. Why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, my name is John Collett, and in March 2018, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Within 6 months, I managed to put my condition into remission, and I want to help you do the same. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 steps I took to put my type 2 diabetes into remission. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you about the one book that allowed me to change my beliefs to make that a long-term change. So let's get into it. Step 1. And that is, no matter what, you make a decision today that you're going to put this disease into remission. No matter what, however you makes you feel, however hard it gets, you're gonna make this happen. For most people, type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease. But regardless if it's because you've had a lifestyle of eating processed food, sugary food, high saturated fat food, and a lack of exercise, or you got this through pregnancy or taking steroids, or you believe you inherited it from a family member, it is still going to take a decision, no matter what, to change your lifestyle if you want to put it into remission. Because there's going to be really dark times, there's going to be really good times, and you got to have that strength of conviction that no matter how hard it gets, you're going to do it. For me, that decision came when I saw a documentary and a man had his leg amputated. He had type 2 diabetes. He'd been doing all of the things that the doctors had told him, at the recommended diet, took the medication that he was diagnosed, but he still got an infection in his leg. It wouldn't heal, and as a result, the only way to make sure he lived was to amputate his leg. They went back to see him after the operation, and despite the fact that the man was going to have to live the rest of his life in a wheelchair, he was happy as Larry because the pain had gone away. And then he was talking about how he couldn't wait to get his thumbs amputated. Well, that was enough for me. The decision was made. And that takes me on to step 2. And the step 2 is you're going to have to change the environment that you live in. That's right, you're going to have to set yourself up to win. At the end of the day, you are addicted to processed food, if you like it or not. And the first month that you have to go through this journey is going to be the most difficult for you. For me, it was the sugar addiction and dealing with the concept of sugar addiction. That desire, I remember sometimes I used to have to hold my hand back to stop myself from grabbing cookies and grabbing food and things like that. Now for some others, it's not like that. The difficulty is doing the exercise. The difficulty is cooking the food. There are some things which are really exciting. Like for me, learning to do exercise was really exciting process. So it's not all bad, but you've got to set yourself up to win. And accepting the fact that you're a sugar addict and that you've got to throw all the processed food, all the sugary food, or all of that really bad food out of your house. It has to go. That was what I did. When I saw that man talk about having his thumbs amputated next, I stood up, went to the kitchen, got a bag, threw it all out, got rid of it, because I knew if I could see it, I would eat it. You wouldn't say to an alcoholic or a drug addict, you know, if you want to come off alcohol or you want to come off drugs, go live in a pub or go live in a crack den. You know you wouldn't give that advice, but when you keep that food in your house, that's exactly what you do. Now, I know what you're saying, but my kids like that, my family like that, they're not the ones with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. Look, that food has been poisoning you bit by bit, year after year. And if it's doing it to you, it's doing it to them. you wouldn't consciously go and put poison to your family. So throw that stuff out and go to the supermarket and buy real food. The next step is you've got to change the food you eat. Okay, and the next video in this series is going to be more about the foods that you eat, and I'm also going to do another video about what a day in the life of myself is like, so you get an idea of how that works. But there's loads of different diets out there. There's a low carb diet, there's a keto diet, and there's a plant-based diet, and they all work. And they all work because they get you to eat real food. Now, personally, I just eat real food. I don't overcomplicate it. I eat the right number of calories for me. I don't do the 800 calorie a day thing. Never did that. Never would advise that you do that, because this has to be a long-term lasting change. Does it work? Yes, it does, but this has to be a long-term lasting change. And the most difficult thing about this journey to begin with is putting the habits in place. And if you eat real food, your blood sugars will come down. So, how do you know it's real food? Well, look, if it looks like food, okay, if it grows out of the ground, grows underground, if it swims in the sea or walks around on all fours, or even a chicken on two legs, okay, then it's real food. If you have to warm it up, if you have to warm it up or it comes in a box, it probably isn't. All right, it isn't real food. So watch the next video about foods that you can eat as a type 2 diabetic, and a day in a life video, and we'll go into more detail on that in those videos. Do an exercise you love. Tip 4, do an exercise you love. You're going to have to exercise no matter what. You can't get away from it. You're going to have to do exercise, but I thoroughly recommend you do an exercise that you love doing. So if you hate the idea of going down the gym, don't go down the gym. If you love the idea of going down the gym, then go to the gym. If you love the idea of going for runs, then do that. If you hate the idea of doing it, don't. For me, it was DDP yoga. Okay, I love DDP yoga. I do that. I'm even an instructor for DDP yoga. I teach classes on Zoom every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7 p.m. GMT time. You're more than welcome to come and join in the classes and see if it's a workout that you love doing. I loved the idea that I didn't have to travel somewhere. I could do it in my house. Okay, I love being part of that community and everything that was involved around in that community. But if you want to get a dog and you want to take that dog for a walk, just take that dog for a walk, but walk faster. You've got to build a sweat when you do exercise. And I'll stick another video here about why type 2 diabetics should do exercise. Tip 5. And you have to change the way that you talk to yourself about food. Henry Ford, or exercise, or anything, right, to be honest. Henry Ford said, okay, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. Not probably, you are right, okay? If you go around saying to yourself, I just want to eat normal food. If you're like me, if you're the type of person that says the only type of exercise I do is lifting pints, okay, right, then you really need to change the words that you use so that you can change how you associate with those things. We have a lot of beliefs in our life. We have I used to have beliefs that I were designed to do exercise, okay? I didn't enjoy doing exercise. I had that belief, right? I believed that I enjoyed eating I used to call Coca-Cola full fat Coke, right? That's what I used to ask for. Those beliefs, right? So, and it weren't until I educated myself and I started changing the words that I say to myself that all of those things changed. So now when I do my exercises in the morning, at the end I have a list of affirmations that I say to myself every day. Because of DDP yoga and healthy eating, I get stronger and healthier every day. I say a list of things that I'm grateful for, the things that I have in my life which I'm grateful for now. But more importantly, when I talk about processed food, okay, I see it as poison, and that's what I call it. I call it poison. When I see real food, I call it healing food, okay? I've changed the way I associate to those things so that it empowers me to be stronger. And let me give you an example of someone who was very, very successful at doing this, and that's Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali used to say, I am the greatest, okay? I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. In other words, he moves fast around the ring and he hits you really hard, and it's going to really sting you when it hits you. He had this belief in himself, and it all came from the words that he said. He never said, I'll give her a go. I'm going to try my best, right? He believed he could do it, he could achieve it, and he pushed that by the words that he said to himself on a regular basis. This is why this channel is called Type Rhino, okay? I didn't want to be a type 2 diabetic for the rest of my life, but my favorite book is a book by Scott Alexander called Rhinoceros Success, and he talks about taking on the persona of a 6,000 pound charging rhino with 2-inch thick skin. When you decide to charge something down, nothing can stop you. When life's torpedoes come out and try to knock you over, they just bounce back off because you're a 6,000 pound charging rhino. Nothing can stop you. That's why we have a slogan. You're not a number. You're a rhino. Now charge. Just repeat that to yourself on a regular basis. It's going to keep you going in the dark days. It's going to keep you going in the good days. Okay, it's going to make you feel good about yourself. It's going to change the way you associate yourself. This is a long part because I believe this is vitally important in what you do. So they're the 5 steps. So the next bit I said, I promise you, if you stuck around to the end, was I'm going to give you a book that really made me change my beliefs. Remember earlier I said it's all about changing your beliefs, and that book is Salt, Sugar, Fat, How the Food Giants Got Us by Michael Moss. Strongly recommend that you read this book. It's going to give you an education. He's gone and interviewed all the top CEOs of all the top food companies who have now left those positions. They've set up organizations encouraging people to eat real food again because they're sickened with what they did. And in this book, you're going to learn all about the truth. Facing up to the truth, looking at it head on so you can change the beliefs that you have about how they designed this food to get you addicted, for you want to eat more of it on a regular basis. And ever since this food has been made and we've changed our lifestyle from cooking to a processed food culture, or what they call a Western diet, diabetes is type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes skyrocketed throughout the world. Okay, it is no coincidence that this food has caused this to happen, but you need to educate yourself on the truth of that matter. I will put a link in the description below. Now, if you have been inspired by this video, but you say, I just wish I had a team of people around me to support me, then we've got a program that can help you. We got a membership area on our website, and what I've done is I put a webinar together, and it's all about the 3 steps that our clients go through to lower their blood sugar. I'm going to put that link below. Click on it, take you to a website, put your name and address, email address in there. I'll send it to you, and it'll tell you everything that's involved around doing the program. I'm going to stick another video here on foods that type 2 diabetics can eat. And just remember, you're not a number. You're a rhino. Now charge.